Hey guys, it's Valor11 here with a video on some League 6 builds you're going to want to try. Jagex has made some amazing updates to Leagues, and my favorite of which is the new Combat Masteries. They redesigned Combat Masteries to have a tree similar to Path of Exile, which interacts with so many more aspects of the game rather than just what combat style you're using. I wanted to give you guys the 5 best builds that I think are going to perform the best this Leagues, and also show you how to build each one of them. If you're just interested in the build, simply skip to the end of each timestamp section just for the full 40-point build. However, I think getting all 40 points is going to be really challenging for anybody. Even if you're a seasoned player, killing things like Awakened Vardorvis, full Coliseum runs or Inferno runs may still be challenging, so I wanted to show you how to actually progress through these builds to give yourself the best chance to clear all this endgame content and get off the ground running as soon as possible. So the first build that I would suggest is going to be one that's called What's in My Bag. It's going to be really easy to start with, and you can progress this pretty far. It's going to take advantage of the blind bag mechanic, which uses a 15% chance to instantly hit with a heavy weapon. You can grab the Glacial Tomatlis before going to Moxliotl, and then grab the Infernal Tech Paddle to keep this as your initial blind bag effect. This is going to work great because all 4 of the double hitting weapons in Varlamore are over 1 kilogram, so you can use all of those to trigger blind bag. You can spec further into the accuracy and melee damage here and increase your blind bag chance and damage. I wouldn't run this build forever. It's really good for like 10 to 15 points. Afterwards, you're going to want to respecialize. However, if you do want to keep running it, I would build it out further by taking a special attack energy reduction so you can use the 4-hit spec from the Infernal Tech Paddles and get more spec back. You'll get 8% every time you spec. You can also grab some additional healing and chance to trigger ranged echoes. These ranged echoes act as if you have a bow, crossbow, and thrown weapon equipped, so you can buff all 3 attack styles from here. Again, this isn't a final build, so this is kind of where I would end this build. However, if you really love it and you want to keep going, you can take a 40-point build, grab some additional healing over here, and improve your powered staves with the left tree in the mage section. You can also build out whatever ranged item you like. For me, I just did an example with crossbows. However, this is a really easy starting build and it doesn't require too much to get off the ground to be productive. So the second build I would like to recommend is the Frozen Ranger build. If I had to give one build to anyone playing Leagues, this would be it. It uses the Wilderness KBD crossbow to basically scale with your magic to overheal you, as well as dish out really heavy range damage. You could see in the video that it's really strong when it comes to healing, and it's also going to be generating a ton of ranged echoes. I would start with the first 2 points in increasing your echo chance. This will give you a 40% chance with a crossbow, and head straight towards the overhealing. The second bolt is ice, so you will need to take this node which makes ice spells count as water spells. However, you do want to take this so it also heals you. So now you'll get 60% healing per each of your crossbow hits. Then we are going to beef things up. I would give yourself 2 points in melee just to have a switch and continue to use your Infernal Tech Paddle, but path your way down through the crossbow tree to give yourself an increased amount of damage, as well as max hit and accuracy. Afterwards, with an aspirational build, I would continue to buff my crossbow. Grab some extra chance to regenerate runes and ammo, increase your prayers, increase your echoes with these 3 nodes, and then grab overhealing with these sets over here. So now with this, you can heal up to 190 HP. Your crossbow is going to be hitting like a truck, and you will have options to auto cast water spells if you need a mage switch, and you'll still have your Infernal Tech Paddle with an insane amount of accuracy from all of these different nodes. This build is going to really crank out some damage, and it's going to have some great survivability. So the next build that I have for you is one that I like to call Firestarter. It's going to use the main hand Echo Cerberus's dagger, the Fang of the Hound, to use intense melee damage that hits really quick, as well as the Devil's Element offhand from Kandarin to apply a 30% fire weakness to anything that you're hitting. So you're first going to start off by building the dagger up. We're going to make it hit twice, hit a tick faster, so it'll be 2 tick, and improve the strength and give it a little bit of healing. So you can take these 9 nodes first to really help the dagger. Afterwards, you're going to want to path down the fire tree. The fire spell section, you're going to give yourself a little bit increase so you can use the fire staff or the trident from Kandarin to get a little bit of fire cast in. This is the really important node that you're going to need. The fire spells will now burn you for 6% of your max hit points, but it'll add that damage times 2 for your next hit. So the Flames of Cerberus hits 10 at a base, but with this, as if you're 99 HP, this will hit 22s as a base. So it's going to be really insane, and we can get it to spread with this Apex node over here. You can also take some additional spec restore because this dagger is going to hit so fast, and you can proc the flames every 50% spec. And then you can also take some more accuracy. This is going to be a really insane build because it's going to pump out so much damage, but it's also going to damage you a ton. So I recommend either having a way to heal with water spells, the flask from tier 8, or the infinite food relic. Those are all really going to help with this, but in this build, I managed to build out a little bit more healing through the water spell section, and since you have the Kandarin staff anyways, you can just heal with water surge, and you can even heal up to 160 after you take these nodes over here. And I also took this range section down here because the Drygor blowpipe from the desert is also going to spread fire. It doesn't scale off of your magic, so unfortunately, it's just a thematic thing, but you can substitute these range points for any style that you like. This is going to be a really explosive build, but like I said, it's going to be high risk and high reward. This next build I have for you guys is one that's going to focus on recoil damage. I call it Porcupine because it's going to play into this effect called Thorns. Anytime you're hit, it'll instantly deal 3 damage. However, as we go up the tree, it'll convert this damage into 1% of your total defense bonus, and then eventually you can make it hit twice, and the second hit will deal 50%. The total defense bonus you can expect with something like Justiciar and a DFS would be around 20 damage, and again, with the second effect, it can hit around 30 for every single hit that you take. You also have the chance to reflect all of the damage based on your defense level as long as you're wearing a shield. So this build is a Tribrid build that's going to use a shield, tank armor, and help you spec into the Tribrid nodes. After you get the base nodes here, I would recommend shoring up a style. I would first take the melee style, grab yourself a 1 kg or under weapon, and it'll hit twice and hit a tick faster. So if you have a whip, it'll hit twice and be 3 ticks. You can also improve the strength and make it heal you a little bit. You can grab some buffs for your shields. We're going to want to use ranged weapons or thrown weapons later on anyways, but this node here will give you some extra melee strength, range strength, and magic damage. And you can also take a staff buff. You can take a basic combat spellbook or a powered staff. If you're going to take Mortania, I recommend taking the powered staff and grabbing yourself either the Lithic Scepter from the Gargoyles or a Saying Staff from Theater of Blood. Lastly, we want to improve the survivability even more of this build. I would recommend increasing your range damage. This next section will really give you a large amount of range viability. 80% of your melee strength, or 80% of your range strength will come from your melee strength, which will be great with the armor that you have for your tank build anyways. And now you can use darts, which are a one-hander, as well as buffing up the magic style. You can grab healing from your water spells, and you can just sit there and mage. And you can also get even more defense levels and overhealing here. At this point, you can overheal to 160, and you'll have a ton of accuracy, 65 extra %. And you can just sit there and kind of just learn to Tribrid. This is a great build for anyone who's new to the game and just prefers that unkillable build where you could just sit there and be tanky. The next build that I have for you guys and the final build that I have is the Beyblade build. It's going to use an extended reach Nox Halberd or a Crystal Halberd to really dish out damage and capitalize with the blind bag build. With this tree here, I'm not sure why this is all messed up, but it will extend the length of your halberd, so it'll be 7 tiles, and if you're using Crystal Halberd, it'll set it to 5 ticks. The only thing is, with the Crystal Halberd, you're going to need to take Taranwin and I believe Kandarin for the hard Western Diaries. So it's going to be 2 regions that you have to invest into, which may be pretty steep for some people, but you can run this build with just a Nox Halley. It's going to have some high Slayer requirements, but it's going to be so much fun. And this build is going to be even stronger based on how far away you are. So if you're at the max range, you're going to get an additional 8% damage. So I would start by taking this section here. If you really want to build it early, you can, but I would recommend waiting till you have at least 17 points, because that way you can give yourself the blind bag effect. And this blind bag effect is going to be awesome. If you take something like Mortania, the Darox Axe, each durability actually counts as a unique item. So you could run 4 of them. You could also run the Anchor, any of the dual weapons from Varlamore, a Scythe. It's going to be really, really great because you don't even have to be within melee range. You can be 7 tiles away and it's still going to hit with all those heavy weapons. So that's going to be something that's going to be insane. From here, I would just say build out your other styles and also give yourself some additional healing. So you want to path this way, and we're also going to improve our ranged echoes because, again, this one is really powerful. It acts as if you have a bow, crossbow, and thrown weapon equipped. So you can path right down here, get yourself some overhealing because you'll be able to heal based off of your distance. Every tile is going to be 2 health, so if you're 7 tiles away, you have a chance to heal 14 health. And overheal is always great for survivability. From the last point, I would just say shore up your other styles, grab yourself some additional accuracy and ranged echoes, and also improve your powered staff. If you're taking Mortania, which you should be with this build, you can improve the Lithic Scepter, or you can even make the Sang staff 1 tick. So this is going to be another really cool build, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys are planning to build, what you guys thought of these builds, if they helped you out or provided a little start point for you guys. I can't wait to see all the videos coming out from this leagues. And again, this is my first video ever. I just wanted to share how excited I am and share you guys some of the builds because I didn't see a ton of videos walking people through these builds and how they would work. So if you enjoyed it, definitely let me know. More content to come in the future. Thanks, guys.